Hi, I'm Stefan Pryor, and today I'm going to be talking about hygiene packaging in the COVID era. So, firstly, I just want to start by introducing myself and thanking Cosmetics Live for inviting me to speak today. I work at James Cropper. We're a prestige paper innovator in the northwest of England in the beautiful English Lake District. So, we produce a variety of luxury custom-made papers for the cosmetics industry to be used in packaging for fragrance boxes, makeup boxes, and bags that people take from the stores. So I have 13 years experience in the industry where we make paper, and my current role is as senior product manager for packaging within the business. And one of my key responsibilities is identifying those emerging trends, the markets of which cosmetics operate within, and developing innovative products, trying to think of the next product that cosmetics consumers wish to see from paper. So in this presentation, I'm going to be talking about hygiene in the COVID era and exploring some of the trends that have come out of the pandemic, and really get into the detail about how brands can adapt to this new era as we emerge from the pandemic and the economy starts to open up. So what are those consumers looking for in their packaging, and what reassurances can the cosmetics industry give to the consumers? So I really want to focus around the consumer and the trends that are going to be coming out from this experience during the pandemic. So I'm asking ourselves three questions really. Will consumer focus on hygiene mark the end of the unboxing or store experience now that we've all got used to working from home, ordering off the internet? Will safety and hygiene now start to take a priority over design and sustainability in packaging? And what I mean by that is design is the appearance of the packaging, the shelf appeal, if you will. And then really, I want to talk around the identification of what I'm calling the three core pillars of packaging in this new normal world outside of the pandemic. So I want to talk about beauty versus hygiene. So, that's quite a provocative statement, beauty versus hygiene. A lot of beauty products are centered around hygiene and the products themselves, and we want to ask the question, will consumer focus on hygiene mark the end of the unboxing or that store experience? So I want to share with you some findings we've done from a study in December 2020, where we held a panel discussion and talked about these tensions. What are they going to conflict? Is the hygiene of the packaging going to conflict the shelf appeal and the appearance of the product? So in advance of this panel discussion, we did a research study of the UK consumers to try and kind of understand what they feel about packaging in terms of safety as a result of COVID-19. I think myself included, a lot of people have been purchasing online and having there's been a rise in packaging entering your home through e-commerce streams, but also I think a lot of people are conscious of bringing a piece of packaging into their home that they've got from a store, where there's been a lot of people touching and feeling the packaging and putting it back on the shelf. I think there's a bit of a mindset now that some of the stores are putting into consumers' minds around, don't pick this product up if you're not going to buy it. And that's quite unusual. Packaging is very tactile. You want to handle it. You want to feel the paper and feel what the product is about. It's not just about the product inside. And so that's quite an unusual experience. And I think that gives a bit of an element of doubt around packaging, and an element of doubt around, should I pick this up or should I take this home? So I just want to delve into some of those findings and really understand what consumers are saying. So, 57% of consumers agree that they're a lot more concerned about how clean and safe the packaging is when they're in a store or when they're taking it into their home. I ordered a fragrance during the pandemic online. It's the first time I've ever done that. I usually would go into a store, I would try it on a tester strip, and I would decide which one I want, and then I would buy it. This time around, it's a lot different because when non-essential retail was closed, you don't get that experience, and therefore it starts to raise questions about, well, is this packaging safe? Is it okay for me to order online? And also, is it okay to order something and then send it back? You're causing a lot of unnecessary handling. So I think it has raised that mindset within consumers to question whether packaging is safe and hygienic. And I think it's fair to say that before the pandemic, I don't really think anybody would have thought that way. So also 69% say that they sanitize their hands after handling packaging when leaving a store. And I think this also applies to handling packaging within your own home. I know some people who will spray the packaging once it arrives. They might quarantine it by the front door, leave it a couple of days before they open it. But who would have thought you would be sanitizing your hands after being in a store and picking up packaging? I think it's just second nature to feel a product that you're going to buy, to pick it up, to look at the label, read the label, see what the brand is about, see what's the ingredients even. But now, I think people aren't doing that, and if they are, then clearly from this study, they're sanitizing their hands afterwards, which says a lot. And I think perhaps for us, at James Cropper, one of the things we really wanted to understand with this study was will people, if they believe the packaging is safer, and I think right now we could have hazarded a guess that yes, they would at this moment in time. We're still in a version of lockdown, but afterwards, would that disappear? As we emerge out of the pandemic and the economy starts to open up and the vaccination program globally starts to roll out and become successful, will people still have that mindset of thinking, yes, this packaging is safer. This, when I buy this fragrance or this makeup product, this packaging is safer, so I'm going to buy that instead of this one. And so 62% of people said that they definitely would, and that really led us to thinking, okay, so how can we do this as an industry, as a cosmetics industry, as a key supplier into the cosmetics industry for packaging? We wanted to understand how can everybody have the design, the sustainability of their product, and also make it safe and give that peace of mind to the consumers. So I'll touch on an example later where we've combined all of those three elements to deliver something that consumers want. And then, this is a real big one. 86% of people say that they believe that the concerns for safety and hygiene will remain after the pandemic. So they don't believe it's just a passing trend. It's going to be something that is here now whilst we're in lockdown. It's here now whilst the media are focusing very heavily on COVID-19 outbreak. UK consumers believe that, and 86% of them as well believe that it will still be here after the pandemic. And I personally, I think I would guess that If we did this study again, this study was done in November 2020. I think if we did it now, maybe that percentage would be even higher, and that's quite a lot. So we wanted to take those findings and start to question, really, will safety and hygiene take priority over the shelf appeal of products and sustainability features in packaging? So it's fair to say, everybody wants to stand out on the shelf. You walk into a department store, you look online, every brand, every cosmetics product, they want the consumer to see them first. They want them to pick them out on the shelf before any other. But will the safety and hygiene take priority over the coming years? I've looked at this and really I've identified what I'm calling the three core pillars for packaging in the new normal. When I joined the industry 13 years ago, everything was very much about the shelf appeal, the appearance, the design, who could look best in this luxury world. A lot of what we do is in the luxury sector. And I think sustainability was actually almost like a nice to have. It was an afterthought. If we can have a sustainability feature, that'd be great. But really, I just want the product and the packaging to be amazing and look good and stand out on the shelf. And hygiene 13 years ago, even 10 years ago, 5 years ago, I don't think would it even be on people's minds, unless you were dealing with packaging in pharmaceuticals, for example. You might not have even thought about hygiene or safety in the packaging itself. Obviously, the products you would. So as we emerge out of this pandemic and using those findings from the study, it's clear that consumers, they do want hygiene and safety to be factored into the design of packaging. And we've seen no signs that sustainability is going to go back on the back burner. It's not something that is a nice to have anymore. It drives people's strategies. I use Lush as an example, and they kind of lead the way with some of their cosmetics products, but also the packaging themselves, minimizing packaging or making it sustainable. So that shows that brands will lead on sustainability over the appearance, maybe. But of course, shelf appeal is absolutely essential. Every single brand, it'll still be at the top of their agenda in terms of packaging. And I truly believe that actually all these three factors can work in tandem. And whereas before, the designers creating the appearance of the product may have had the biggest say 10 years ago, I think sustainability has emerged as a big voice at the top table of brands. And actually, they may have the biggest say, or it will be a joint decision, a decision that's made in parallel. And I now think, as part of that corporate social responsibility, the brands are going to factor in hygiene and safety as part of that consideration as well. And they're not gonna want to make a compromise, and why should they make a compromise? Consumers want a beautiful product. They want to pick something up in the luxury sector in particular. That is what it's all about. But also now more consumers are digging into the provenance of products. So whether that's where the packaging has come from, whether it's safe, are they okay to have it in their home? Is it a problem to order it online, and can they bring it into their home without having to spray it with antibacterial? All of these factors, I think, create an emerging pillar for the packaging designers, where they're going to sit down and look at how they can incorporate all of these three factors into their thought process. So with that in mind, wanted to think about what's next for the cosmetics industry. As I said before, cosmetics brands, it's a very tactile, high-touch environment. You go into a department store and the cosmetics stands within stores. It's about makeup demonstrations, tester strips for fragrance. Try a few, pick up the paper tester strip and try this fragrance, and picking up the packaging and having a look on the back. There's a lot of human interaction, and we can't lose that. We definitely can't lose that. But as e-commerce has grown as well, and you don't necessarily get that human interaction, it's then even more important that the packaging is safe and hygienic. So, at Croppers, we definitely believe that every brand can have all of those. So, I've pictured an example here of paper. Now, this was the Walpole promotion. So it was designed by International Direct Packaging, and Avelio Matos was the creative director. And this was using a paper that we produce, which is called Rydal. It's 100% recycled black. It's also treated with an antiviral paper guard solution that we offer, which means that when you handle this product, because it's treated with paper guard antiviral treatment, after 15 minutes, there's 95.3% less effectiveness for the transmission of SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. So that means after 15 minutes of handling, the reduction of that transmission has reduced significantly. And after 2 hours, the viability is reduced by over 99%, which means that people can have these kinds of products coming into their home. They can buy them in store, and this is a wonderfully designed product. There's been no compromise here on how the product looks. So this is possible in packaging, and we really want to lead the way as innovators to show that it is possible. All these three pillars can be incorporated into one and can deliver exactly what consumers want. I think long may that continue. I don't think that the pandemic, and as we emerge out of it, people will forget about packaging. And it doesn't matter now. We've had the vaccination program. We don't need to make packaging safe. I do think that it will be something on consumers' minds now, and they will constantly be seeking solutions for the product, much like they did with sustainability. So over the coming years, like sustainability did, I think it'll start to emerge as a really big factor in the thought process. And as I say, there'll be a greater voice at that top table of brands to create hygienic and safe packaging. And as I say, we want to support that process and help people seek those solutions. PaperGuard that we offer is one to address those hygiene concerns. But I think, as I say, the cosmetics consumers in the UK, at least, have already shown that they care about the safety of their packaging. It's not just about the product inside, and the industry really needs to take that into consideration as we emerge into what we call the new normal. So that concludes the presentation today, and just like to thank Cosmetics Business once again for inviting me to join today and share some of our thoughts. And if you have any questions, then certainly would be willing to answer those. Thank you.